First of all, no, this video is not 30 minutes long. In order to understand the containment site, just watch the first 5 or 10 minutes so you get the idea of the general layout and how the wings work and control points, and then you're gonna be fine. So don't click away just yet, said every YouTuber ever. So last night during ops, my boys ORAX, we were fighting at a containment site, and well, I personally really love those things, but my squad mates still had trouble navigating them. So I decided, well, if I'm gonna go through the efforts, I might as well make a public video for everyone to learn. And back up we go.
Go somewhere else, anywhere else, please. I will walk all the way from here to the Estimir warp gate, please.
Olaf, just stick to me, buddy. Stick to me. Hold hands. I'll guide you. Carl is holding hands. He knows what to do. Hello, Carl. First of all, my dear viewer, do yourself a favor and save this video in your favorites on YouTube or post it in your Discord or whatever, so that the next time you want to show someone how to navigate the site, or you want to educate your guys or yourself, whatever the reason, you're gonna have it on hand. It won't be buried in your YouTube search bar. It's gonna be right there when you need it. First of all, a big shout out to Veranda and company for making the most detailed map of the containment site. I believe this map came out on the day the containment site were released, or really close to it. It really is the most detailed map of the entire area. They even drew lines to map your direction. It's all in the Reddit post in the description below, both the marked one and the vanilla unmarked map, both very high resolution, so definitely check out the Reddit post in the description below. We'll be roughly following this map during this video. And here's my pride and joy, the image with callouts that we made for the official ORAX internal callouts guide document thingy. I'll talk more about it later on, but the general idea is that while making containment sites callouts, we thought long and hard. We're not really often at containment sites. We're mid-sized point-holding outfit, so this isn't our forte. So making callouts, we decided purposely to make them as simple as possible, so that we don't put effort on recognizing individual doorways or corners or whatnot. Just name the general areas, make names simple, so that everyone can understand them at a glance, and make sure that they are completely in line with the existing callouts that we use, which were adapted after countless materials from other outfits which we received, all in our nifty little guide, which your outfit probably has already access to be honest. We shared with everyone we have. Right then, let's get down and dirty with the containment sites. I know you're excited, I'm excited. So let's begin with the outside structure first, and then we'll make our way inside from the attacker's perspective first. When attacking a containment site, be mindful of the side with the vehicle terminals and the air path. There are also anti-air turrets on this side. The upper defender spawn leads directly up this area, and defenders can quickly pull vehicles. So if you are trying to sneak a Sunday in, maybe avoid this specific area or take out the enemy terminals while you have the chance. Now, a fun secondary objective while attacking containment sites are these towers that are basically attacker spawns. They have a garage that's protected by a very big mean shield that can house an attacker Sunderer. These are mostly useful once a fight has already broken out, and if it turns out to be an open vehicle fight. If you are the person starting to fight the containment site, you probably won't be placing a Sunderer in here as your priority. Inside, we have the terminal that you can hack in order to get control of the shield downstairs, the elevators which take you above, there are no turrets above, and many open windows. Now be mindful, we can also find these windows on Osher, but on Osher they have a shield over them. The shield on Osher doesn't do anything for reasons. So this is similar concept but different execution. Just know that the developers have said that they wish to implement these types of towers in more different areas across PlanetSide, and I'm looking forward to that. Above, there are no turrets, as I said before, and we can see the other towers in the distance. There's the second and the third one, and the containment site itself with its left and right entrances, as well as the vehicle pad and vehicle spawn points for the defenders. As we can see, the defender areas are quite simple, just 2 vehicle pads, terminals, and an open room leading to the upper spawn room. So any vehicle passing by can hack or destroy these 2 terminals. They're really easy to take out and an excellent farming spot. So if you're defending, actually, do be mindful that you can be blown up in a moment's notice. Right, moving inside the 3 main entrances, this particular one has some turrets fried. Usually they would be working. Now inside we see that you have 3 gates with 2 glowing generators above. These must be taken out by armor in order to break down the shield locking down this entrance, and they can be manually repaired by engineers that hop on these side platforms and repair them. You can get most vehicles, and if you are cheeky, a Valkyrie or 2 inside with relative ease. Now if you're attacking, of course, you can shoot them from here, or you can be a little bit cheeky, run up the sides quite easily, down on the platform, and place a stick of C4 or 2 on it if you happen to have it on hand. As you're gonna see, my AP Lightning should have no difficulty destroying these. They're not particularly tanky, but they do take a few shots to take down at least. If you have buddies, this is going to be a piece of cake. You're often going to find that these are already destroyed by the time you reach the base itself, so don't worry too much about it. And once we drive inside, you're going to see a roundabout, essentially, and on one of the sides there's an SU generator. This is not exactly an SU generator, this is the generator that powers the upper defender spawn room. And it's also special because it can be killed by shooting at it. The only generator in the game that can be killed like that. So do give it a good whack to toss the enemy off balance, so that's a well-placed shot. And once you do that, their day is going to be a little bit more difficult. And we're going to show the attacker spawn room in a second. There we go. Just be mindful that enemy infantry can very easily run up from the little blender, as I like to call this area, because there's a bit of a meat grinder, and shoot your armor from quite a lot of cover. So if you see a heavy assault or a light assault down here, good luck killing him without exposing yourself. And oh, there's a guy. I'm gonna leave him. Sneaking past our friend into the containment site itself. The red line, of course, tells you where to go at all times. It's very useful. If you look on the left and right side, especially the left side here, you can see the defender spawn room. It just turned blue because the guy above repaired it. When it's not in order, I don't believe you can enter it, but it's inoperable for the defenders. Now, this part is tricky. There are 2 areas like these, each on their own side of the meat grinder, with the spawn room in the middle. Close up to the second door, it does in fact lead to the other side of the meat grinder, which is completely identical, and the door on the other side, which is now disabled, leads to the now disabled enemies or defender spawn room. But the center has 2 staircases, as well as these nifty little things which take you up to the roof. Now, hello friend. Well done. If I were a smart man, I'd go on Jaeger and ask for an Observer Cam account, and they'd give it to me with instructions and everything. But no, I have to do this on live, because I'm a lazy idiot. Oh goody. Well, this gives us a chance to show you the second containment site, which has a different structure around it. As you can clearly see, there are a bunch of very angry spikes, which gives it a natural formation. There are also holes in between. Well, thanks to my laziness, you get to see the fact that yes, you can in fact get a Mossy inside and use it to destroy some of the structures and the shield generators above the entrances. It's not ideal, and you're better farming off people, but this is the price I pay for being lazy. Now this here is the tricky part. Which staircase do you take? Do you take the one that goes to the command hub or the unmarked one? I'm going to show you both of them, but it's important to know that one will take you to the center of the containment site, the central spire as I like to call it, and the other one will take you directly to one of the wings that we're fighting over. And if we look at the map, we're going to see a difference. If we head down the command hub, going down the command hub, we're going to find ourselves in the longer one of two staircases. The lighting changed. I believe the containment site is loaded separately from the rest of planet site. And here on the right side, we see the central spire that connects all the main areas that we have to worry about. Now, the doors on the left side connect to a series of tunnels, called cargo elevators as they name them, which lead even further down the rabbit hole, but we'll be covering those somewhat later. If we move inside the containment site, we're going to see the left and right side, and this is where we have to make an important distinction. The left side is the Relic Side, or the Reliquary Wing as the official name is called. I nicknamed it the Relic Side because it has relics and bright red walls. This area is special because it has these bright red terminals that control the shields that lock off the way. In order to get our butts inside the control point, all we have to do is destroy these with bullets. They fall very easily. Each of the wings has a side connector which connects us back to the central spire. They are an alternate route of approach. Always check those for any enemies that are left if you are defending and pushing out to the main door. And if we make our way inside, we will soon reach the control point. And there we go. Now, once we capture this control point, we get access to the defender's spawn room. Once we capture this control point, we get access to the attacker's spawn room, which is crucial for capturing this base. There are two spawn rooms, one for each of the wings. Now, if we push forward here, a lot of stuff to kill. I should have bought my butcher. We reach the end of the hallway. We have a door to the side tunnel. And in the end, we have three paths, of course. Now, the one you're gonna want to take is this drop-down path, which takes us to the central area, the microwave room, as I like to call it. This one here will take us to the vents that the defenders use to navigate around. Not usually the best place to attack, because you can easily get shot while you're inside. And as the Vanu blue line shows, this door here will take us straight to the defender spawn point. So once we are in this area, you will generally be seeing people spawn camp this hallway or the tunnels, or jumping down to the central microwave room. Now, if we instead take a left and not rush straight to the point, we're going to see two options. The first one is the side tunnel, and the second one is, if we're a light assault for example, to jump up the side platform. The tunnel and the platform are on each side of the containment site, and they run in parallel to the entire hallway, and you can shoot down the entire hallway. So it is an excellent flanking position. Now, being a fat engineer, I cannot jump high. I am vertically challenged, so we're going to make our way down the tunnel. A very straight line with good cover. This is a fantastic area to push down because there are small holes, gaps in the walls that allow you to shoot in the inner areas even though you're behind the shields. And you can destroy the shields themselves to help your allies push through and shoot from afar. A very useful thing is to send maybe one guy that's a heavy or a medic down this hallway to hit the enemies from the back. That's a tank mine. They know their business, so they know what they were doing. And then you simply come out at the rear end of the hallway. I mean, rear end of the wing. This is not a hallway, this is a wing. What is up with me today? Now remember the attacker's spawn room that I mentioned. Where is it? Well, there are two ways the attacker's spawn room leads to each of the wings. The fastest way is through the little vent that goes into the other room as well, the one connecting to the wonderful little hallway here. one connecting to the tunnel here. This is very dangerous to drop down from because you do not see down the tunnel, and you're free fodder. Well, your head is free fodder for anyone who happens to be looking up at this specific moment. The same goes here while you're entering. Likewise here, it's very dangerous as you cannot see who is directly standing below you. So be mindful that you're pushing out with a group, or if you're alone and there is actually a fight going on, maybe don't use the tunnels and instead use the far door. Now the door is really not the fastest route, but it is by far the safest. It offers a lot of cover, and there's an in-between room that's going to take us to the upper floor. If you remember, do not get confused here, right in front of this door is the center staircase from which we entered, and now we take a right, and this is the door that leads to each of the wings directly. And if we take a right turn, it leads us to the attacker's spawn room, currently disabled because I'm in a fight far away from the borders. What am I saying? I'm not even in a fight, I'm ghost capping technically. And here we have two simple terminals as well as spawn tubes. You can pull maxes here. They're a fantastic tool to have if you want to control each of those spawn points. Just be mindful, it's very easy for attackers to push all in a single wing, capture one of these points, and lock down your spawn and prevent your friendlies from coming in. So don't be completely reliant on a single spawn room. They are fickle and will come and go quickly. Always make sure you have a sunderer above ground if you want to ensure maximum success for capturing a containment site. Now going down the tunnel, the wonderful vent here, people with cat-like that walks faster while crouched are very happy in this scenario. Now if you are actually defending this tunnel and see Angry Max coming towards you, you might as well hold him water if he gets thirsty while he is mutilating your face. Pretty much. And here's the exit to the wing itself and the side tunnel. If we showcase them as well, be very careful. If enemy has recon, they can easily see your push and toss a stick of C4 in your face. It is pretty much impossible to counter, as you can see. I'm moving at a snail pace here. And again, while you're pushing out, you can't see further down the hallway until you actually drop, and, well, there's a bunch of guys, you're as good as dead. So this one is even riskier than the previous vent, which may appear exposed, but at least here you have a slight idea of what's waiting for you. Moving back outside the Relic Wing to the other side, where the Botany Wing is, we're going to be crossing the center area. You can easily jump over these terminals here. We're going to be covering this center area later. But first, we're going to look at the near identical Botany Wing. The Botany Wing, as you can guess, holds flowers. Flowers that can be destroyed. Do you guys remember this from the campaign? Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, that was quite an adventure, I gotta say, you know. Glad it happened. No more, please. As before, there's also the side door which leads to the tunnels in the back, as well as the attacker spawn room, and the two identical vents which lead to the attacker spawn room. This room is green. Lovely accent change, and just like the other side, it also has a tunnel on the side that attackers have to use the flank, and the walkways for light assaults. Now, this area is really covered. It's a wonderful playground for infantry. You can destroy these plants to give you sightlines, or shoot over them, of course. Navigating right to the control point, it is also practically identical. Be mindful that here you can shoot enemies as they are approaching you, but they have a lot of ways to attack you from. They can attack you from on the other side of the plants, they can attack you from sides, from above. Unlike the Relic Room, this one is a lot more open to infantry fights and a lot more difficult to take and defend in that matter, so keep that in mind. The back end, identical, just mirrored. We have the tunnels, we have the hallway that goes with the line back to the attacker spawn room, and we have the drop down zone which takes us to the center area with the microwave and a point. Now let's go down these tunnels for a jiffy. This little boiler room, if you could call it so, it's quite fun. I quite enjoy this room specifically. Never had any combat in it though, but it's very unfortunate. As you can see, this leads us to a small hallway that connects directly to the enemy spawn room, and this door leads to the other hallway that we've covered earlier, and there's another little vent leading to there. If you are a defender, you would be running down this hallway to either get to the point from here, from this vent, or you would be running down here in order to make your way to a point. But we're going to cover a point slightly later. If we walk down the lovely attacker vents, this vent is a little bit more dangerous again, but can offer a good flanking opportunity. Attackers go down the vent and have some fun peeking guys. They will not expect you to be here. It's very dangerous, but you have some distance between the spawn room and yourself. You can get some nice cheeky kills in. Now, you got yourself B and you got yourself C. How do you get to A? Well, step 1 is this thing on. Yep, the containment site is containing a giant mass of energy that fries anything that touches it. And that mass of energy is contained in the central room that happens to coincidentally hold a point. So once you secure the roundabout, make your way down this hallway with plenty of cover. It's a great area for combat, to the Tempest Siphon Terminal and hack it. This will turn off the Tempest Siphon, which as you can see is currently powering up a point. And it will also disable the shielded doors that keep everyone out. And that's why I like to call this room the microwave, because anyone can flip this terminal at any time. Well, of course, attackers can turn it off and defenders can turn it on. But the moment defenders reactivate the terminal, there's a small warning, and everyone inside gets to feel what popcorn feels like, and you go pop. So do run quickly. Like, don't take your chances. If we disable the Tempest Siphon, it takes a few. There's a jingle, and oh, the microwave is off. Let's make our way down the dotted line, down the staircase. It is a single route. This area that leads down to it is actually quite open for combat, and here are the two holes that attackers and defenders actually can drop down. So do be mindful of any possible enemies shooting you from above. And then we make our way into the A-point area. This has a lot of cover. As you might imagine, do not fall down or you will get zapped. You can jump over these generators and you can peek into the enemy spawn room. The enemies will be coming from these walkways here. It's very dangerous to be completely exposed, but from here you can get some cheeky shots. And from above there are two staircases that defenders will be able to use to go back to the wings. Now, while you're in here, keep in mind that these platforms are fantastic for turrets and shields to be set up, but it usually ends up being a spawn camping fest in the center of the base, which is very dangerous, because if you're in the center and the microwave is turned back on, you have only so much time to run back and get yourself outside. But once you're past these doors, you're safe. Just note the most important thing. While the Tempest Siphon is powered on, the control point is safe, and it is on corresponding to the faction of the defenders. So do not make the mistake of thinking you got it once you cap it. No, you have to always make sure that the terminal above stays safe. If you have a spare infiltrator, this could be guard duty. Once the Tempest Siphon is powered off, you can actually enter the central spire with air, and you can drop people from a galaxy you can make a max crash and land them directly down the center, run through this little rabbit hole, the exhaust pipe, I guess, and into a point. Just keep in mind that if you do so while the Tempest Siphon is being powered on, good luck getting to the doors on the other side. So while I'm running about, the Vanu capture the continent, so in order to keep up with continuity I have to film every single scene on a Vanu controlled Esamir. Yeah, just don't mind if this disappears like all of a sudden. Just don't mind it. It's fine. It's fine. Now let's continue our little adventure and go down the path that the defenders have right next to a point. If we go up this little area, and I do really love this area, to be honest. It's a fantastic look. Moving up, we come down to the hallway, which we were at earlier, with the vents leading to the little boiler room and back to the point and the enemy spawn room. Now, let's imagine we are a Vanu defender, for obvious reasons. How would you go about defending the containment site? Well, let's say we decide to go to the Relic Wing first, the one we started with. The most obvious route, of course, is to follow the dotted green arrow and make our way down the hallway that leads directly into C Point. Or we can take the tunnels. And here we are, back in C Point, the Relic Wing, fighting for glory of the Papa Vanu Spandex. I don't know the Vanu terminology, I'm TR, I'm sorry. Alternatively, we can run down the hallway. If we take a left, we come down to a point. Here we can use this tunnel to go to the boiler room and then directly into the end of the Relic Wing. Or we can use this little tunnel, or vent, my apologies, this is more specifically a vent, to make our way to the side of the wing. So defenders technically have 3 different areas of approach. And if you are making a max crash, you're obviously going to be using the hallway. If you want to sneak in and flank them, the tunnels are a good choice. High risk, but high reward. And I do say high risk, because again, if you're in here and somebody catches you, you're done for. And then you can simply move out to C Point, repair the absolutely destroyed panels, which would be destroyed if I would be under attack. Engineers can repair them in a jiffy, and panel by panel you resecure the room. And if we're defending the Botany Wing, just to show the access from the vents, it is mirrored to the Relic Wing on the other side, and this time around you come out on the center of the wing, and you are even more exposed to all sorts of enemy fire. Just jump over the fence, and maybe take a flanking on the left side, shoot the guys hiding around, always take a peek down the tunnel if you can. While the tunnel is a good fighting spot, if you can actually find somebody shooting out on the control point without being aware of you looking at him, easy kills. So definitely always give it a bit of a peek. No, I believe this terminal was used for the campaign. Yes, it's not used anymore, but people would stand here and hack it for the mission. So here's a brief thank you to everyone who didn't kill people who were trying to do the missions at this terminal. You are the real MVPs. Even though you could have gotten cheap XP, you held back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to say, but this is pretty much it. The containment side is really not that difficult, and what I've showed you is all you need to know. If we look at the ORAX college document and the map of the containment site, we're going to see that we didn't give a lot of names to every single area, nook and cranny like typical PlanetSide buildings do. That is because we don't have to. We're so rarely at containment sites, and it's always such a giant fight that I believe keeping things simple in terms of callouts and rather referring to entire areas rather to specific positions is simply a lot easier, not just for your guys who are probably veterans and are probably familiar with the layouts, but also to any puppies that happen to make your way into your platoons. You know, every puppy is going to understand, oh, make your way to the central spire, rah, rah, rah. But you know, no puppy is going to understand, oh, 2 heavies at Crescent 2 of Central Spire. Yeah. That's how point holders sound, which is kind of self-derogatory because we do that, but I know. Gotta get the YouTube clicks, you know, gotta put in potty humor. Yeah. They're probably thinking, Sarloh, okay, we got the big staircase down, the command hub staircase, the right side staircase, the main staircase. What about this one? Well, let's take a trip down the rabbit hole. Let's change our rendering. As you can see, it changes immediately. And oh look, it brings us right back to the attacker's spawn room. A very quick staircase. If we go forward and take a right turn, we reach the hallway that connects all the lifts and all the, even though there are no lifts here, all the staircases leading to the central spire. And if we go past the attacker spawn room, we have this tunnel, which is the primary way for attackers to reach the battlefield. We enter the back hallway, where we can go to the central spire, or we take the side staircases, which lead us through down into the wings themselves. This is the longer route, but arguably somewhat safer than the vents and more max or large push friendly. So do be aware of this specific option. And what happens if we go up the 2 grav lifts? Well, we go upstairs to one of the pads on top of the Containment Side. This one is not the side of the air pad, but it is the side with 2 anti-vehicle terminals, from which we can jump down and shoot incoming armor. And if we are quick and sneaky enough, we can also use this to perhaps flank any enemy armor that happens to be trying to get inside. Just like this, quick and simple. Well folks, that's it. Here's the Containment Site without the central spire, because this is what we did by turning it off, and you know, that's all there is to it really. I'm a big fan of the Containment Site. I really love its concept. I understand how it fits into the general idea of Esamir. If we turn on the map, Esamir, a continent, oh this is annoying, a continent with a reduced number of lattice lines and very large bases, so it is the continent for large fights, and containment sites with 3 distinct areas of fighting, the A, B, and C points and wings, as giant pop dumps. This fits in with the general theme of the continent. It's really not scary. I tell my guys all the time that in order to understand the Containment Site, you have to spend 6 hours making a guide on it, like I did. But hopefully with this video we have simplified the process of learning. So do save this video for later. You share it with your outfit mates or your outfits. This is the for the public good, to hopefully make people less scared of fighting in this spectacular basis. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how the developers can input the various panels from inside the Containment Site and walls and elements into new bases on would-be continents for whatever they have in store. That's for this guide. Yeah, but how do people end videos already?